A feeling of foreboding overcame Ember. Ember was terrified but tried not to show it. The giant bird spoke softly. Another little Ember. Speak, do not fear. The bird is a friend. Ember wanted to feel safe. Oh, little Ember, birds won't hurt you. Birds will take another under our wing. Stay safe in the nest, you'll never turn forlorn. Ember was still afraid. Is it the night that scares you, little one? See, night is gone. Day is here. Birds will make the world less frightening. It wasn't only the night that frightened Ember. The bird grew frustrated. Do not trying and failing and turning forlorn. Birds will protect you from false hope. The Forest King spoke so gently to Ember. Perhaps they could rest here for a while. It was hard to know what else to say. Clever little Ember, you will stay. Search for hope no more. Now take this feather. Feather means Ember is one of us now. Birds keep little ones safe. Birds should never leave the nest. The guards seem pleased. Clever I can hold that bag for you. Leave them alone. They're one of us now. Yeah, one of us. And we all shares bags and things. Back again. Where's the other little one? They left the quick way. Ignore them. They're having a bit of jokes. It didn't feel like a joke to Ember. Don't stray too far. The stranger wanted Ember's attention. You should get away from here. You can't trust the birds. I've heard there's another campfire. Well, that's where I'm going if I can find a way down. The stranger leaned in. But friend, those birds are really just embers, dressed up. The guard squawked. Stand back, don't come any closer. Nothing down there but sadness and Go see the Forest King. He'll set you straight. Got your first feather, I see. Stand watch here. Promise you won't let anyone pass. Ember didn't like deceiving the birds. But what choice did they have? They couldn't rest in that place forever. They had to keep going. Hidden away was a scrap of journal. There were memories here, bound in rock. I hear their voices echo in the ancient stone. I find footprints by the cinders, a makeshift camp. This forlorn was not the same as the others. The forlorn whispered softly, I know I may never be ready. The future is yours, stranger, but mine is mine. Ember left the forlorn with her thought. The time wasn't right, perhaps would never be. Ember hurried away from the birds. The mist hung close to Ember, hiding them. The forest cruel. Ember would rather risk turning forlorn than become like them. Ahead there would be others to help, and maybe a way to move on. Ember found a scrap of journal. I heard them coming, the snap of a twig, a flutter of birds, a figure dashing through the undergrowth. Another like me? The traveller seemed distressed. I'm sure it's been a while since. It's my fault. The traveller whispered quietly, "No matter where I go, no matter where, I always hear." Hidden inside was the wanderer's journal. Another face at last. A catcher of fish resting by a pond. We work together, silk and tar and aching fingers. My boat floats once more, though I almost wish to stay. It looked like a map, but pieces were missing. The piece formed a new route. It was the same place as before. But how? An eerie scene, like a moment frozen in time. Inside was a secret diary entry. Pink, orange, red, brown, leaves gently dancing to the ground. Crunch, crackle, lovely sound, fall into a giant mound. Gradually, more of the map was revealed. A section of bridge had somehow been ripped from its foundations. It was like the map had been broken on purpose. The mist revealed a secret place. Was it hidden on purpose? stranger spoke. He said some things I shouldn't have, and now I'm lost. And it's too late. The skeleton looked held tightly in its hand was a red feather. The statue spoke. Just as it once moved the heart of the instrument you now hold, has the power another before you took great effort to hide it deep within this riddle. The lanthorn began to glow. A lost message was inside. The mist is thick. One way blurs into another. Where do I end? Where does the world begin? I cannot... Held tightly in its hand was a red feather. Ember found a secret note from the Wanderer. Something beckons. This place is not home. I trace the map in my head, recite the older myths. I have to move on. There was one last place to reach on the map. Ember found a lost message. The smell of hot broth and hearty stew wafts across the swamp. By the cook's pot I meet another. They are on their own path, but we promise to meet again. Inside was a scrap of journal. In the orchard, I meet the stranger from the cook's fire. A stranger no longer. The Wanderer's Diary. An ancient throne sits empty. No one remains to guide or protect, but we do not mind. My companion shall... Ember didn't mind getting muddy. The slide was such fun. A sleeping pig. Trotters, they looked happy. The plant looked like it could take a hand, and it was in Ember's way. The fruit was giving off a sickly sweet smell. Ember chuckled. The dangerous plant was no match for a hungry piggy. A hideous odor filled the air. And suddenly, the reason was obvious. The pig inhaled a giant snort of air. Wait, what's that delicious smell? Ember shuffled nervously. Other embers fed me treats, but then stopped. You feed me now. It was junk. Maybe the pig would eat some junk. As the pig chewed, a light grew in its belly. Surprising. A little sparky. But what I want is something more fruity. The pig would eat anything. Ember just needed to find more. And with each thing it ate, the light grew even brighter. Fruity, fresh, but what I want is something with more crunch. Perhaps if Ember could satisfy the pig, they might be more helpful. Ember found the Wanderer's diary. We stop by the warmth of another campfire. The guardian spirit provokes us, asks what we hope to resolve. I do not understand the question. My companion is silent. Ember uncovered a journal entry. Snotty piggy, simple piggy, so easily teased with fruit. They are no help until they are fed. A few grow fat, wobbling on their trotters. The skull was disgusting. Perhaps the pig would like it. This was the last thing Ember could find to offer. Crunchy, embery. But what I want is... The pig's stomach made an almighty sound. Ember chuckled with relief at the large creature they had been so afraid of. The pig had vanished, but something moved beneath the surface. In a muddy pond, Ember thought the pig looked a lot less imposing. The pig shouted joyously. The water, join me, morsel! The pig seemed happy, but Ember wasn't getting too close. Why do I consume whatever people put in front of me? I need some true nourishment, but there's none left here. It's so much cooler in this muddy pond, I can finally drink. Thank you, morsel. Ember came upon another campfire lost in the wilderness. It looked long cold, but ready to be lit. This is the hollow marsh. Here hope was consumed before. You must not lose hope, or you too will. Ember thought of those they loved. those they'd left behind. There were others lost along their journey. Find them and I will guide them. The Forest King watches the door. The campfire will light the way. Find those who are lost. Bring embers to the fire. Travel wisely. Return if you have lost your way. Hidden away was a scrap of journal. Hands encircled around the evening fire, merry lanthorn tunes, singing out the promises of old. Will home be as we remember? Through the mist, Ember could feel they were being watched. The stranger knew they had to move on. The path behind was forever closed. They tried so hard to see it all. To leave now seemed unbearable. The stranger stared past Ember. I'm almost ready. Let me sit a little longer. I will catch up. I promise. Ember found a scrap of journal. The lanthorn wards off ghosts and fear. It shapes the world as we wish it. I urge my companion to rest, but still they stare into the fire. The stranger had come so very far. They felt the air beneath them, the distance ever widening. It was such a long way down. A resolve stirred within the stranger. Just a few more steps. It can't be much further. Hidden inside was the wanderer's journal. Our feet are weary, the hours long. There will be much to do when we arrive. I tell my companion of those waiting at home. They do not seem to know what to say. Cheerily, the stranger said, "Remind me of one of those golem statues. Stood there, mouth open. I like you." Inside was a secret diary entry. The satchel is almost bare, our supplies exhausted. The taste of a good meal is not easily forgotten, but it slipped my mind to thank the cook. A stone golem frozen in the lake, a relic from a forgotten time. Ember chuckled. The dangerous plant was no match for a hungry piggy. A lost message was inside. Our music crafts our path, bridging over any we pass. My companion's hand clutches mine. We dart like fireflies through the swamp. The stranger couldn't take on more. The time to grow had passed. They settled into the soft moss and waited. The strangers stretched their limbs. Perhaps it is not too late after all. Ember found a secret note from the Wanderer. A memory lapse at the edge of my dreams. A time before the water, someone I wished to stay for. We must hurry home. The pot had turned cold. The fire had died. Nothing the cook made felt good enough. Endlessly stirring the same tasteless pot. Couldn't focus, sleepwalking through the days. Aimed inwards was a swirl of thoughts. In the eye of the storm, a fragile flicker. The cook spoke softly. I must have lost myself for a moment. It's supposed to be my new soup recipe. But it's not ready. It's not done. A wonderful smell wafted towards Ember. You look starving, poor thing. Have a little taste. It's not right yet. It was the most beautiful thing Ember had ever tasted. I know. It's got no flavor. Nothing Ember wished the cook would believe them. Oh, I used to love this. I just want to be good at it. But it feels like I'm making nothing has flavor. I'm stuck. Oh, I'd forgotten how good it feels feeding folk. But it's not ready. There's no need to pretend. Just the cook stirred their soup, looking at Ember, looking at the pot, stirring, thinking, soon, maybe. If you know what you want, I can try. But I really need some better ingredients. Something from the orchard could have, if it was still standing. Oh. The cook struggled to hold back their remote. Pigs have gotten in the orchard. Planted every sapling I did. Only hard work. Root, take the key and have a look yourself. I can't bear to. See if anything is left. But I promise you, there won't be. Ember found a lost message. To see hope fade in those you care for, the harder I squeeze, the quicker it slips away. The stranger was afraid. They couldn't see what lay ahead. Ember saw their own fear reflected in the stranger. The darkness hungered for them all. The little Ember spoke hesitantly. How do you continue, never knowing if we'll reach the end? The stranger puzzled over their journey. Some steps felt effortless. by unseen. Gratefully, the stranger said, "Friend, thank you. We all help each other along the path." Inside was a scrap of journal. Less and less grows here. I dare not go in the caves alone. The spiders whisper. Their cobwebs glitter. I am not sure I am ready. The Wanderer's Diary. Frogs play at the feet of fallen statues. Simple, splashy, happy little hoppers. They seem content in the home they've made. The stranger said, magical sound, Let me tell you, I plays a good lanthorn. The orchard gate was locked and needed a key. Ember placed the key in the lock and slowly began to turn it.